It's 10 minutes past 6. So this week, events have been taking place to mark 2 years until the start of the London 2012 Olympics. And one woman who's got her eye on home success is Jenn Taylor, who's part of Team GB's women's volleyball squad. Until recently, Jenn worked as a teacher in Derby, but she's left her job to fulfil her dream of competing in the capital on the world stage. And she and her mate, who's taking pictures for her Facebook page, joins me in the studio now. What's your name in the background first? Jo. She's the one taking the pictures tonight for your Facebook page. Jenn, thanks for talking to us. You've hot-footed it back from Sheffield, haven't you?
Yeah, we just had to drop all my GB kit off because we're leaving to obviously fulfil professional contracts, so we had to be back, handing our kit by the end of the week, so I've just driven back from there now.
So you've hot-footed. What's the traffic like, by the way?
Wasn't too bad for the M1.
Wasn't too bad.
No.
All right, touch wood. Where does volleyball sort of start for you then? When was this a sport that you decided, this is a sport for me?
I started back in school when I was in year 9, and we were doing the youth games in Greater Manchester, and my coach back then came into school. He wasn't my coach obviously initially, but he came into school, wanted some kind of new blood for volleyball, and that was it really. So I just started back in school, and then went on to play for a local club, and then joined a team in Manchester, which was in the National League.
There is a bit of a Manchester twang to your accent, I can tell.
A little bit northern.
Was it just a sport that hooked you straight away then?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I played all sports at school. My main ones were like hockey and football and netball. And at the time, I was actually in the squad for the hockey for the youth games, but I did a couple of sessions of volleyball and loved it, so I've just kind of jacked the hockey in and stuck with the volleyball.
Really? And here we are now, possibly looking towards London 2012. If I'd have said to you back then when you were at school, you just started volleyball, that you would be going on to represent your country on home turf as well, home soil. Never
imagine it, because obviously volleyball is still very much a minority sport in our country, and to have been to the countries that I've been to have played against the kind of top 10 teams in the world that we've played against this summer and last summer, it is an absolute dream that I would never, ever, ever believe that would be possible.
Yeah, and tell us where you've been. You mentioned about the travelling. Some glorious countries, I bet.
Yeah, loads of travelling. Since being with GB, we've obviously travelled farther afield. We've been to the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, been to Kazakhstan. That's always a good one to get in there. We've been
Kazakhstan?
there.
I didn't know they were a volleyball country.
Yeah, they are. They qualified for the Olympics last time round. That's the first time they've qualified. They're probably top 15 in the world.
Right.
Have got ex-Russian kind of citizens, so they've got quite a good volleyball outfit.
Right.
I've been to Japan. Is my favourite place in the world to have been. That was fantastic. Yeah.
Why was it your favourite?
Just because I guess for us the style of volleyball that they play is what we are kind of aspiring to, and what we kind of emulate our play with against. So they've got a similar profile to what we are in terms of height of players. We've not got the 6'5" and the 6'7" like the Russians have, or the Cubans. So we have to play a slightly different way in terms of playing to our strengths as such. That isn't like we play with speed rather than kind of height as such. So just to go there and train in their national training centre in Tokyo and play against some of their players who are just absolutely phenomenal. It was a real honour.
Try some sushi as well?
Love the sushi.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely love the sushi, definitely.
Is that your food of choice? I don't think I've ever had it.
It was really good, yeah. I mean, they obviously eat a lot of fish and a lot of rice, and they are very healthy people. The food is we kind of joke about saying that they have very clean food over there. Yeah. So to go a lot of the countries, we fear what we have to eat when we go there. When you go to the likes of Kazakhstan and you go to deepest, darkest Bulgaria, it can be a little bit unnerving, but the food in Japan was definitely great.
I bet you see some sights, don't you, when you're abroad?
Yeah, we're really lucky. I mean, we don't get to do a lot of sightseeing when we're there, because we generally go, we see the sports hall, we see the hotel and the journey to and from. But the longest stints, we were in Japan for a couple of weeks the last 2 times we've been, so we've had a chance to have a good look around their culture, and I think it's important we get to go there to have a look at what they've got to offer as well as the volleyball. Yeah,
absolutely. I mentioned as well about sort of hopes for 2012. We'll talk about that in a second, but it's been a busy week for you, hasn't it? Because you've just done this big bike ride, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been... I think it's possibly one of the best things we've ever done, or that I've done as a team. The girls we're still talking about it today. As
it's literally last week, isn't it?
Yeah, we finished on Tuesday at Earls Court to kind of represent the 2 years to the day of the opening of the Olympic Games. We started in Sheffield on, would have been Friday? Yeah,
Right,
Friday,
okay.
yeah. So we started Friday in Sheffield, headed down to Nottingham Saturday, Leicester and Coventry Sunday, Reading and Oxford Monday, and then we went to Richmond, had a buffet with the Deputy Mayor of Westminster
Oof.
in his council chamber overlooking Buckingham Palace.
I
and
hope
then
he gave you some champagne.
well, we had champagne when we got to Earls Court,
All
just
good.
a little bit. We shared a bottle between the 23 of us, but it was just great. Obviously, just trying to raise the profile of volleyball, trying to raise funds for our team because we want to keep making progress in preparation for 2012, and we just know that in terms of achieving our goals that we want to achieve in 2 years' time, we need to continue to train as a world-class team, and with more money and more funds, we'll hopefully be able to do that, to play more games.
That is the sticking point, isn't it? Money. There isn't
Huge.
enough of it, and cuts are
Yeah.
being made across the board at the moment, not just in sport, of course, but, I mean, volleyball is going to be hit, do you feel?
We need more to do what we believe is necessary to achieve kind of our top 8 aspirations of at London in 2012. So we know that in order to do that, we have got to play more competitive matches. We're only a young federation. We only kind of really formed in 2007. Other countries have been formed for years and years. So we're massively on catch up. So we have to play more matches, and we have to be exposed to more competitive situations in order to be prepared for 2012.
Because you only formed in 2007, does that mean you have to sort of manage expectations for London 2012 in terms of medal hopes?
We have to manage them, but we're realistic. We know that playing on home soil, like you said, is going to bring added pressure, but we're hoping to prepare and do everything that we can in terms of reaching our own goals within the team that we know that we're capable of doing. And if we can get a good draw on home turf and get a couple of good results in the kind of the initial games, then you get into the second week and you get into the top half of the second draw. Anything can happen. So.
We're going to talk more in a sec. I did say to you before Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes finished, if you want to choose a tune, and you chose the Carpenters. You said the Meatloaf or the Carpenters, and
I had limited choice, Colin. Don't put it out there.
There is
too
that.
much.
There is that. Yeah. So you chose the Carpenters. Any particular reason why?
I don't know. I was a fan when I grew up. I don't know whether that was my mum and dad or my sister. I'm not quite sure. But I think the one we chose was On Top of the World.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that one.
All right, we'll have a listen. Yeah, we're talking to Jenn Taylor this evening, former teacher in Derby, part of Team GB's women's volleyball squad. Slightly saddle sore, I'm sure, Jen, after your bike ride.
Yeah, to be honest, we were all really worried about that. Day 1, after about 30 miles, it was pretty sore. Day 2, even sorer. And then by day 3 and 4, just kind of had to take your feet off the pedals and force your bum in the seat. So yeah, it was all right after that. Yeah,
you got lost as well. Of all the things to do to get lost when you've got to travel that far.
Well, the whole cycle ride was called Cycle 250, and that was kind of. We were symbolising our journey from Sheffield to London, and it was initially meant to be 250 miles. We knew before that with the route it was going to clock up to about 280. But in the end, I think it was about 303 we did, because we did have a few getting lost along the way.
Okay.
So what's another 20-30 miles after
Wow.
280?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Sheffield's a very important part of the world for you, isn't it? And I think I'm right in saying that your sort of funding has been cut for Sheffield, and this is why you're now having to go abroad and look for work elsewhere. Because you mentioned about how you used to teach in Derby.
Yeah.
From Manchester originally, but you worked as a teacher in Derby, but you've decided to pack all that in, or you've kind of been forced to in many respects.
Well, yeah, it's not that the funding's been cut. We just haven't got as much money from UK Sport as we thought we were initially kind of believe we were going to get. So it's not that we've been cut, the money's not been cut. We just haven't got enough, like I said earlier, to prepare as best that we think how we feel we need to prepare. So we're still looking for a team sponsor for the women's side. We don't have a sponsor as of yet, and that's why the bike ride was kind of not only to promote volleyball, but kind of get ourselves out there and raise the profile of our team, and just kind of to meet the public along the way, who were really fantastic in all the cities that we stopped in. Everybody was so positive. when we did the come and try it sessions, there were so many kids getting involved in volleyball, which as a teacher is really great to see. We took loads of photos along the way, so if people want to go and have a look at what we did, the website's www.gbwomensvolleyball.co.uk.
Say that again for people, just in case they want to write it down.
All the W's, I've always wanted to say that, all the W's, and then it's gbwomensvolleyball.co.uk.
Okay.
That's our website.
Big decision for you to basically pack up, get your suitcase, move abroad.
Yeah, it's been a huge decision. I mean, I've worked at Chellaston School in Derby for 6 years, and I absolutely love it there. The staff and the students are fantastic. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and this will never, ever come around for me again. So it has been a really tough decision. I've managed to sign a contract in Germany, so I've been moving over to a place just on the border of Germany and Holland just before the end of August. And it's massive. It's a massive change. I'm going to be sharing a house with a couple of other foreigners, playing on a team with people I've never met, being coached by a Polish lady. So it's going to be a big change for all of us, and that's for every member of the team. Initially, we wanted to go away to Slovenia altogether, so basically replicate the programme that we have in Sheffield, but in Slovenia, and play in their league and in the Middle European Volleyball Cup.
Presumably you've got family here, though, haven't you? Family, friends, leaving them all behind. Is that going to be hard?
They're all still here. Yeah, it is going to be so hard. And when we thought we were going to go away as a squad and as a team, that obviously kind of cushioned the blow a bit, because I've got some really, really good friends, and obviously my teammates that I would be moving away with. But now it's even a bigger decision, because I'm going away totally all alone. So I'll have to hopefully persuade friends and parents and family to come out and visit me as much as possible. It's only Germany, it could be worse, I could be farther afield, but I've just got to make the most of this opportunity and this challenge, and everybody in the team's got to do that, because we need to come back stronger and better volleyball players come April next year, ready for the international season.
What happens next then? You've got this international season and then the Olympics. What's the itinerary?
What we start now is September through till April is domestic leagues, so each country has their domestic league. We will then get back together as GB April, May time, when people are released from their contracts. We'll hopefully play in we've played in the Euro League for the past 2 seasons, which is a really great competition. It's like 8 to 10 weekends of competition. So hopefully that'll come about, or we might go to hopefully maybe get to go to Japan again, or back to Kazakhstan to play
sushi.
More sushi, or more kind of eyeball soup in Kazakhstan.
And just before we go as well, because we've got to go to the headlines at 6:30, people will want to know the difference between beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, because that was a mistake I think that we made the other day, because you said, I don't do beach volleyball, it's indoor volleyball.
Yeah, I don't, especially being so pasty, definitely don't do beach.
There's a bit of a tan there from the bike ride.
Oh, that's from the bike ride, got some good tan lines. The big difference, obviously, one's played on sand, we play indoor. They play on something called Taraflex, and we play 6-a-side compared to 2-a-side, and our court is 18 metre, 9 by 9. The court's 9 by 9, where the beach is 8 by 8.
And is there a big rivalry between beach volleyballers and indoor volleyballers?
No, there's no rivalry.
Scratch each other's eyes out.
No, they're based down in Bath. We're up in Sheffield. They've obviously got better tans than us, and they get to go to more glamorous, glorious places. But no, there's no rivalry. There's been some crossover of players from the indoor to beach, but we're all coming. The volleyball community in Great Britain's are pretty small in terms of if you compare it to the likes of football. So everybody's good mates, and everybody obviously just is supporting one another so much in terms of their preparation up until 2012. So no, there's no big rivalry.
Right. Here's to London 2012 then.
Absolutely.
Did you get to go to the stadium on Tuesday?
We didn't go to the actual kind of where the opening ceremony. We went to Earl's Court, where the volleyball will be based.
Right,
so we didn't actually get to see the official kind of main stadium, but I'm sure we will do in a couple of years' time. All
right, fantastic. Well, Jen, thanks for hot footing it back from Sheffield. Thanks
for
talking to us.
Thank
Good luck, and we'll keep in contact as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Cheers.